Fine, guys. So our actual the course is going to be on the next weekend. It's going to be an crash course. The same time next week, um between 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST on both the days next week. Today, what we will see is I'm just going to provide an overall walkthrough on what is it we are going to learn during those crash course, 2 days of the crash course. Okay. So the way we have designed this a course, right? The DevOps is something a big buzzword everywhere we get into. People talk about continuous testing, continuous deployment, automated testing, DevOps pipeline, all these things, right? But when it comes to performance testing, how relevant this DevOps is for our performance testing, what we do in the actual projects, what are the boundaries? Do I need to learn everything that people talk about when it comes to DevOps, right? That is what we wanted to address in this crash course, very specific to what we need. There could be 100 things that is part of the DevOps, which is not something required for our performance testing. Within our performance testing boundary, what is that we should learn so that we can equip ourselves to start working on those projects where our project teams, our customers expect us to bring performance testing into DevOps or into a pipeline. Okay, so it's going to be, this course is going to address specific to what we might want to do in the actual projects, not about 100 things that might be there in the DevOps market, which are not very relevant to performance testing. Okay, so initially in the course we will try to understand what are the various limitations, what are the various myths around this DevOps. Why do we as a performance team think that performance testing is not possible in the pipeline? What are the challenges? What are the real-time challenges? What is that something that is expected in the project? So more from a real-time expectation, real-time what is happening in a project, we will try to uncover all these things, and so that we'll get a clear idea of what is our boundary, what is that we are going to do in the performance testing when it comes to DevOps. That is what we will try to learn as part of the introduction to this course when we go to start this Saturday next week. And then obviously when it comes to DevOps, it's all going to be tools, right? There are multiple tools which are going to talk together to make all these things executed in an automated way, right? People talk about Jenkins. There are multiple build tools. When it comes to DevOps, somebody is going to deploy the tool, deploy your code automatically. The testing has to be done, functional testing has to be done, performance testing has to be done, other validation has to be done, and then somebody is going to certify saying this build is good or bad. That is what in general this continuous deployment CI/CD is all about, right? So from a performance testing perspective, we are going to look into these set of tool stacks: Jenkins, JMeter. When you look into this, right, Jenkins is a build tool that is we are going to consider for this course, which is a very popular tool among all other build tool. You have Bamboo, you have TeamCity, you have multiple other tools, but Jenkins being a very popular open source tool, that is something people use most of the projects. So build tool is Jenkins is what we are going to look into it. And then from a performance testing perspective, obviously we all know that there are multiple tools again: load runner, performance center, new load. But when it comes to again with the continuous testing or DevOps, JMeter being an open source is preferred for multiple reasons, which we'll discuss during the course also. So Jenkins and JMeter is going to be more from a build tool and performance testing tool. And then more from the early performance, we'll also look into Selenium way of getting the single user automated performance. Selenium with performance testing is something we will look into it. And then from a code repository or a script repository, we will look into Jenkins and GitHub integrations. The DevOps pipeline is more about communication, so we'll also look into sending feedback, communication to your email or to a Slack channel. So these are the set of tools which we will look into it completely in a practical way. Okay. So I'm just going to explain you the sequence of the course, right? So we'll look into Jenkins and JMeter, with feedback and email notification. So how are you going to make Jenkins and JMeter to talk to each other, to run test? Once test is completed, how are we going to send feedback through email notifications? How are we going to pull the latest scripts from GitHub before we start the test? And how are you going to send the communication to the Slack channels? And then we'll also look into some of the monitoring aspect as well, right? A continuous monitoring with some open source stack tools. We'll also look into the integrating Jenkins with AppDynamics for continuous monitoring, right? So it's a sequence of steps. What is that required for us in the performance testing? So you integrate your performance testing tool, you integrate a feedback mechanism of email notification or a Slack channel. We need a script repository to pull the latest script, because when it runs in a pipeline, you might be in offshore, you might be in an on-site, you'll be creating scripts. You need to store it in a particular path properly. Otherwise, your pipeline will not know from where to pick the current script. So GitHub is going to be very, very important from pipeline perspective. So we'll also look into that. And then the continuous monitoring. Okay, so this is going to be a series. We'll look into the Jenkins installation of Jenkins and creating pipelines. We'll also look into some reference pipeline that is typically that we use in a performance testing project. Okay, so let me quickly go over to the tools as well, right? The whatever we will look into it. We'll use a sample application that we'll deploy in a Tomcat that is there in my machine. That is what we'll use it for creating script, executing it, monitoring it. All those things we will use a sample application that is running in my machine. Let me go and start that. Okay, and we'll use a JMeter scripts for this sample web application. We'll use that couple of transactions, your home page, login, view librarian. So we'll have a script which we'll run it in the offline mode, and then we'll take the same script and then we'll go to the Jenkins, and then we'll create jobs in the Jenkins, and then we will execute it. Right, I was talking about the pipeline as well. So we'll also look into a couple of important pipelines, how to create pipelines, how to install these plugins for pipeline. Those as well, we will look into it. So like a build deployment, and then smoke test, environmental validations, and then pulling it from Git and then running it from JMeter. This as well, we will look into it. So I'll also open the sample application. So this is a sample application which we will use it during the test, during our course. It's a complete Java-based application. So which means we'll use this application to navigate through a couple of flows, and then that is what been recorded and scripted in the JMeter, which is what will be when I go to this JMeter job. We'll see how to create this job, how to configure these things, but more from the course content perspective for you to understand how practically we are going to do it. So all these things we will be learning it in the course. How to bring in this JMeter, what we created in the local, how to bring it in the Jenkins, and how are we going to configure it, how are you going to run it, there are going to be trends which we are going to create for the previous builds. Okay, so all these things we will look into it practically. Okay, and I was talking about Git. We'll also use a GitHub to store the scripts, and then there are going to be jobs that are going to be there to pull the GitHub scripts. The Git pull will go and pull the scripts from the GitHub for your execution. That also we'll see how to do it. There are configuration has to be done both from the Git as well as the Jenkins to make this communication to work properly. And similarly, this is a Slack channel. We'll also see what all configuration we have to do it from a Slack perspective, from the Jenkins perspective, so that whenever a test is going to run, say for example, if I'm going to just start this test in the pipeline, right? If you want to get a communication to a Slack channel, because nobody is going to monitor the test, right? See, if you see here, I get a message saying build deploy is started by the user admin now at 8:16 p.m. Right? So because you will not be monitoring the test, you will have a Slack app in your mobile, and you will be sitting at your home or somewhere, and you will get notification saying there's a build deployment. And then at some point of time, you will say the performance job is started, failed. So all this notification will ask to come to the Slack. All right. So there is another job started. Okay, so this kind of notification you will get it in the Slack channel. So which means with this also we'll learn how to make this work both from a Slack as well as from the Jenkins perspective. Okay, and then similarly email notification, we'll also look into how we can send notification to email. My build failed in Jenkins, JMeter, Git JMeter failed, passed, all these notifications will come to the your Gmail as well. So that also we'll see it as part of the your communication, feedback communication. And top of that, as I mentioned, we'll also look into a couple of open source monitoring tools. One is the popular open source monitoring for your OS level metrics, right? Be it as a cloud, AWS cloud, or with Azure, or your data center missions to monitor the OS. This is going to be really, really useful, right? So we'll look into this open source monitoring of InfluxDB, Telegraph, and Chronograph, or Grafana, right? This combination is very popular when it comes to monitoring. This as well, we will look into it during the course. So it's completely tailored version of what we do it for any DevOps project for performance. Integrating a Jenkins JMeter, sending the feedback notification to emails and to Slack channels, pulling the script from GitHub, setting some SLAs for automated failing the job or passing the jobs, getting the trending, automated monitoring. So all these things are what that is required in the DevOps world, and that is what we have tailored for this crash course as well. And plus the Selenium integration, we'll also look into the Eclipse project where we'll go and create some sample Selenium script, and then we'll try to include some performance timer. There are APIs available like navigation API, paint APIs, to pull in your whatever you see it in the developer tool, right? Load time, your time to first paint. So all these things, from that perspective, we'll see how we can automate this single user performance with the Selenium. That is also something very popular in the DevOps world today. So this as well, we'll cover it during the crash course. Okay, and yeah, pretty much that is what we are going to look into it on both days, Saturday and Sunday. So probably we'll open up for the questions. If you have anything, you can probably put it in the chat channel, or if you wanted to ask any questions, you can unmute and you can ask the question as well.
Hi Satish, this is BVS. This is, I mean, do you have any regular course available? This is only weekend, only 2 days. Sir. Weekend means only 2 days. What do you do? Saturday and Sunday. 3 hours or 3 hours. That is the plan.
Correct. 2.5 hours and 2.5 hours is the plan. This is what we used to do it earlier also, which we thought it's very, very productive for people to gain insight in both the days. We also add a regular course earlier, but at least for now, for March and April, at least for next 2 months, we are not going to have any regular day courses. So this weekend is what the feedback what we got from everyone is. Yeah, the weekend is very, very productive. So yes, this is going to be a weekend course.
Yeah, regular means how many days?
Regular is also same. Instead of 5 hours over the weekend, it is going to be Monday to Friday 5 hours. So the course content is not going to change. The coverage is not going to change. Pretty much same thing, but it's spread over 5 days versus this 5 hours over the weekend. But yeah, the regular course currently it is not available, at least for next 2 months.
Yeah, okay. And one more thing, Satish, and this is single user performance means when we run the load test in backend, it's a JMeter or API testing or whatever it may be. In the same time, we can run the Eclipse single user testing. Then we can gather the client side rendering. That is the you covered, or what is the meaning of single user response? Can you please explain?
We do this, but it can be used in both the purpose. We will see how to do it. where to apply, both way we can apply it. One of the application, one of the way we use it is from an early performance perspective. In the pipeline, even before our performance JMeter execution happens, this can be executed so that you will get a early indication. And as you mentioned, it can also be run in parallel to the load test, so that under load you can measure the end user response time. So both way we can use it. But how do you enable that? It's going to be same. What we will see it in the courses, how to inject the required performance specific APIs in the Selenium, how to capture this response time, and how to run it. When to use it, it's up to you. You can use it standalone, or you can use it in parallel with the load test. It's all about how do we want to use it. But we will learn how to integrate Selenium with the performance metrics is what we will learn in the course.
Yeah, I mean, same question. If I explain the same product, same thing I will explain in the product manager. What he said is that single user is okay because multiple in the real time multiple users are hitting the server. But here we'll give the rendering point of view only single user. This is 100% correct or somewhat different? That's what.
It is correct. We are not going to replace anything with this Selenium way of execution. It's more of a early performance. Wherever we don't have a load testing script at all, initially until we go and create the scripts, right? How soon we can get some kind of early metrics. That is one of the idea. Second is when you run a load test, if you want to get a real end user experience, this is going to help. But it's not no way Selenium we have for a load testing.
Yeah, so this thanks for clarifying. And last question, what is the server side metrics what you automated? Can you please, can you please within 1 or 2 minutes can you please cover server side?
Sure. Yeah. So two things we will one we will definitely cover the OS level metrics. The what you would using the perfmon or in the Linux box using shell scripts, your VM stack top command used to get CPU memory, all these things, right? Here, what we need to do is using the Telegraph, InfluxDB, and Grafana. You will see how to automate that process. You go and deploy the Telegraph components in the app service, and then data will come to InfluxDB. So we'll go and install these tools in our during our course, and then we'll try to understand how to create Telegraph agents, how to start InfluxDB, how to send data to InfluxDB, and how to create charts in Chronograph or Grafana. And then to automate the monitoring is what we will look into it. This Chronograph, InfluxDB, and Telegraph. It's more from a OS level monitoring perspective, and we'll also look into the AppDynamics monitoring. We'll not go into in depth of what is AppDynamics and all, because that is not the intention of that. How to bring in the AppDynamics data into Jenkins. Say I run a load test. After the load test is completed, if I wanted to get the certain metrics from AppDynamics, like your slow response time, number of slow response time, average response time, and all to Jenkins, how to bring that to Jenkins after the load test is completed for that duration, that we will look into it.
That is also will cover the part of this course.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, once the load test is over,
automatically.
Once the load test is over, we'll send the some sample template to send a mail, maybe aggregate report, JMeter aggregate report, and Telegraph something OS level metrics and AppDynamics. These three, once the load test is over, immediately send the mail. Maybe that is also will part of this course. How to send this mail to report also. My question is, once the load test is over, sample aggregate report, OS metric, this AppDynamics to send it through mail or Slack. This is possible. This course.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see how to do that as well. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks. The other guys will ask the question because I'm taking more time. Thanks, Satish.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Satish, this is Teju.
Sorry. There was one question that's chat I was reading. Are we going to cover go no go decision part of the pipeline integration. Yeah, we'll also cover that. You can raise a question. We will try to explain how do we make the decision. And there are also going to be job. We are going to make the job pass or fail based on certain criteria, right? That is not going to provide us go no go decision, because the go no go deployment is more from to a production, right? That will involve a lot of other decision, a lot of other key things as well. We need to look into it. But in the pipeline, we'll definitely, I think the job will we'll make a job pass or fail based on certain criteria. That we'll look into it, and we'll also discuss about this question during the course. How do we make this decision? Okay, so yeah, there's one more question. Please go ahead. Yeah, somebody's asking something. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Teju here. Would this actually training would be recorded once we take the course, or is it one time?
Yeah, no, it will be recorded, and the recorded session will be available for the your after the course is completed. The recording will be given to you, which will be accessible for. There's no restriction. You can use it continuously.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no time limit. The recorded version will be available for you continuously for any number of years.
Cost details, duration is okay. Cost details, can you please explain, Satish? Cost, what is this particular course cost?
Yeah, cost detail. Navin will be able to provide you the detail after this demo session is completed. BVS, you can ping Navin, and then he will be able to share the course detail, the course fees detail. BVS.
Okay, Satish.
Okay. Yeah, and the all these information about the sample application war file, the JMeter scripts, and the plugin details, all these things we will share it through the Google Sheet, where you will get reference for all these links where to download all these things. If all you wanted to practice, see, one good thing is you can practice everything what we teach here. There's nothing commercial that is we use it, right? Which means everything is open source, or for everything there will be a trial version also. So which means absolutely you can do everything in your own laptop. For that, we will provide you the Google Sheet with the references to all the links from where you can download JMeter or Git or your Splunk, your Slack, or your whatever we are going to cover during the course, that you will be able to practice it. For that, we will provide all the links in the Google Sheet.
Satish, my last question. Yeah, carry on, Teju, carry on.
Any support we need? Can we after the training can we have contact you, or what is it?
Sorry, I was speaking in mute. Okay, sorry. Okay, so to answer your question, after the course is completed, right? This sheet will be available for your for you to provide ask any questions even after the course, and then you can say a message in the WhatsApp saying I have added a question, so that I will be coming here for getting your question and then answering it. Or even in the WhatsApp also, you can post your questions directly, and we can probably mutually whenever we both have time, I'll probably try to explain you whichever is required. Though there is no official obligation from Skilltree, more from a personal point of view, we can guide you whenever you have any question based on both of our availability. But more from the course perspective, whatever question you have, we will answer it. Even after the course is completed, within a week, if you have any questions, you can put all those questions here, and we will answer it for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Satish, that 5 hours course, this content is we are okay. but I need one small suggestion, Satish. If possible, we'll cover this topic. Otherwise, in future also we'll cover, because nowadays most of the applications are AWS or Azure or some other cloud applications. In what I personally experienced is more what questions we need to gather the NFR if application is cloud. What is the difference? How to install JMeter? How to Dockerization? I mean, this is same approach or different approach? JMeter installed in the, I mean, same. I mean, this is.
I got it. I got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got it. So do one thing. Put your
yeah,
question, these whatever you're expecting, right? We might be coming up with a different course shortly outside of the DevOps. Okay, if you can put these questions, we will cover this in other courses for sure. That is what we are planning. You can just put that question into to me or to Navin, right? It will help.
yeah. I will share my questions, whatever I experienced personally. But how to share it? The
Sure.
WhatsApp I will share, or some other WhatsApp I will share.
You can just send it through WhatsApp. Yeah, in the group or separately also you can send it.
Yeah, I will send it separately. You and Naveen, I think. I mean, you will cover next sessions or this session. Helpful for other peoples also, because I faced so many issues. Current, I mean, some of the applications. That's what I'm asking. Thanks, Satish.
Yeah, that yeah, sure. Do it. And there's a question. What time would it commence on the weekend? So the weekend it will be same time, between 7:30 p.m. IST, the time what we started today, right? Same time, 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on both days, Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Satish.
Okay, no problem. Okay, guys. If there are any other questions, yeah, feel free to ask, or even after this session is completed tomorrow, maybe during the weekdays. If you have any question, reach out to me, reach out to in the WhatsApp group, and we'll be able to answer it. Yeah, and as well as I was mentioning, right, similar to the sheet, we'll also share a couple of important artifacts, the Selenium scripts, JMeter scripts, and other whatever artifacts we wanted to share it, the WAR file. All these things will be shared through a Google Drive. Okay, we'll get your email IDs, and then all these uh, important artifacts will be shared through the Google Drive as well.
Yes, regarding the course fees, who is going to discuss this question and let us know?
Yeah, it will be shared in the WhatsApp group itself shortly by today. Okay, after the session is completed. Yeah, you can just we'll reach out to you, not a problem. Okay, after this course, you will get this notification about the course fees.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, any questions on the course content, any other clarification also, yeah, feel free to reach out to us after the session, if at all, if you have any questions. And fees detail, yes, you will get it once the session is completed today. And the demo video of this course as well, the session as well, today's session also will be available probably by tomorrow end of the day, so that if you wanted to refer it back, you can also look into it. And feel free to ask any question in the WhatsApp.